People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, I hope you're all doing well and safe. Well, it's the morning over here in the UK. Good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases even good night, whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you're all well and safe. Now, there isn't much to speak about in relation to Arsenal, apart from the same old recycled rumours. Like, if we just, not to keep speaking about Gabriel, because every minute he's signing, then he's not signing, and all of this sort of stuff. I like to believe, man, I hear when, you know, the pictures come out with the you know, the pen and the contract, and they're holding the shirt up and stuff like that. So until then, it's a myth. I mean, if you believe stuff that's happened last night, some people have said he's had a medical, some people said he's chosen Arsenal. You've heard PSG and Manchester United have entered the discussion late, whether that's tactics by Leo or Leo to rush negotiations on, because apparently Napoli and Arsenal have agreed terms, and for whatever reason, you know, Gabriel hasn't chosen a club, or the deal's not, from what fans look like, it's not moved on. So maybe this reported interest is to put late pressure on the two sides. Maybe this is legitimate. Manchester United did want him. They do want a left-sided centre-half. PSG have been linked with him. And, you know, for me, I can't lie. I want Gabriel to come. I think, you know, you look at the price tag, 30 million euros. He's only going to get better. I like the profile of defender he is. But for me, and again, we don't know all the facts, but it just screams a bit like the Malcolm thing. How 1 minute he's going Spurs, and he's going Arsenal, and Roma, then Barcelona. It's like, if you listen, I want him to. He has no affiliation to Arsenal like I have, so maybe I'm talking with a bit of emotion. But at the same time, anyone that needs to take too long, whether it's to sign for Arsenal, United, Napoli, or PSG, or whoever, whatever team he's been linked with. You know, we don't know all the facts. The deal might not be as ahead as we believe. You know, there could be other things. But at base level, if he is taking this long, on one hand, he owes it to himself. It's an important decision in his career, you know, where he goes. But at the same time, if you have to think too much about signing for a club like Arsenal, then you probably shouldn't sign. I'm not a Man United fan, but Man United is a club, regardless of where they are. You know, you sign for them. They're a big enough club. And if you have to think twice about that for whatever reason, maybe it's not the club for you. But they're all, you know, he needs to take his time. There's enough reason to join Arsenal, Man United. There's enough choice to join Man United. You know, he's previously allegedly had a medical with Everton earlier in the season. So, you know, he is someone that can be, you know, will judge a club not necessarily on stature but sporting projects. So, you know, there's enough clubs that could sell him a case. Until he signs, who knows, people. But that's just the latest I've seen. Apparently, Willan has had a couple things to say since signing for the club, and he said, "One of the reasons I wanted a 3-year deal was to be part of the plan. When I talked with the manager, he told me why he needed me for 3 years. He first wanted to qualify for the Champions League and win it by the time I left. That's what I wanted to hear." And, you know, yeah, that's what you want Arteta to have. You know, in the next 3 years, we do want to challenge for the league. I can't see it happening personally because, you know, I just can't see it. But if we move in that direction, I would love it. I can't see it because I look at the current playing stuff. But I believe wholehearted in Arteta. And, you know, as much as we need the Sakas, the Martinellis, you know, these players for Gabriel, even the players for tomorrow in the early 20s/teens, we need men that are now. You know, Aubameyang's very much the present. You know, hopefully, like Willian, we win a league title by the end of the 3-year period. If he was a better man, you wouldn't. But we need Aubameyang for now. How he scores goals and his sort of form and how he makes the decision can help us become a consistent top 4 side again. And obviously, with the finances and the ability to attract players and more flexibility in the market, that immediate impact that him and Willian can contribute to can obviously affect us in a positive light for years to come. Yeah, man, obviously I hear Willian's logic. If you've got a 3-year plan, you know, you've got a 3-year deal, it means that the club kind of have to consider you in their plans, because you're not here for a year, you're not here for 2 years, for 3. The main reason Willian is for me is, let's be honest, security of contract. You know, it's a good sporting project, you're staying in London, but it's a security. You're at 32, to know you're tied up until you're really past it is great. That's probably he rejected. You know, admittedly, you know, I don't know, but you heard Bayern Munich lodged a 2-year offer. Barcelona did as well. I personally would go to them teams, really, because, you know, I at his age in my career, I wouldn't want to turn down them deals. But at the same time, you know, he's not going to be as important in them teams versus as important as he could be at Arsenal. So he probably got better wages at Arsenal. He probably could have got better wages elsewhere. But in terms of the contract and bonuses, they're doing him all right, and he still clearly wants to feel like an important member of the team. So, I mean, yeah, man, that's what I wanted to hear from Willan. And like I said, whether Willian's going to play on the left or the right or through the middle, I want him to help us. I don't think he's amazing, but I do think he can contribute, you know, towards what we're doing. I think it's an underwhelming signing in that he's not a signing that's going to make you wake up and get gassed, but that's nothing to do with him. What I do think he can be is a competent signing, and it's just down to him, really. He went on to say, Arsenal are one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I see this as changing from one big club to another. It's expected we should be challenging for all trophies. This is a club which deserves to shine again. So very much everything you want to hear. He said, I joined Arsenal because we can challenge for titles, but Pierre, obviously Aubameyang, will be a big part of the plan. He has to stay. It's very important to me. This is a guy who gets 25, 30 goals a season, and we have to keep a player like that. And I mean, Willan said it. It's facts. You take them goals out of the team. Who's bringing that to the table, and where would we be? We need Aubameyang. It's as simple as that. If we are going to challenge for things, so I can't get at Willan, you know. He said it's facts, and to be fair, people, you know, he said 100% facts. Moving away from that and rather sad news, we know job losses and you know, streamlining companies and moving in different directions are all part and parcel of any industry. Obviously with COVID and obviously with Arsenal's finances, we've gone through a serious audit, I'd call it, with changes at all level. People are leaving, and you know, the club must have some sort of plan, because there are some drastic changes happening quite quickly, you know, if we look at the backroom staff. Sadly, you know, a natural, how do I make it, a natural sort of what's the word, man, obviously it's a natural occurrence sort of thing, really. Pat Rice and Stuart Holson, you know, those are old enough to remember, both players, both former Arsenal players, have been old enough, former Arsenal coaching members, obviously Pat Rice was there. They've obviously been let go. The Athletic is saying they've been let go from their scouting roles as a behind the scenes restructure of the club. As you lot know, Rice has done everything. He's represented the club. He's been an assistant manager. He's been a coach. You know, he's been an ally of Wenger. You just hear how Wenger speaks of Pat Rice very highly, and how everybody else does. He's a local hero. You know, I can't speak high of Pat Rice. Sorry, apologies. Myself. You know, he's a fighter. He beat cancer as well. Smacked up cancer in his face. So I've got a lot of time for Pat Rice. So to hear someone that's been at the club for 56 years, you know, longer than I've been alive, you know, it's a shame, because Pat Rice was part of the furniture. Obviously, a part of life is always changing, but it's sad, man. It's really sad to know people that are... That's what I mean when I say the heartbeat of the club. Man like that, for me, are the heartbeat of Arsenal. Few people get what Arsenal means. Obviously, for me as a young man, 25 years of age, one of the funniest stories I have of Pat Rice is really, you know, him about to tear into the players and Wenger telling him to stop. Apparently, he was working as a video scout towards the end of his tenure at the club, but he's been informed that his paid position, well, his services in the position he gets paid for, is no longer required. As you lot know, we lost our head of international scouting, Francis Cahigio, Peter Clark, our head of UK scouting, and obviously, you know, Brian McDermott, who is a former Leeds and Reading gaffer. I'm pretty sure he was more of a consultant scout rather than an out scout. And obviously, you know, head of 3 senior scouts, and obviously throwing that head of football, Raul Sanye. Things are changing. Things have also been lost to other positions around the club, because Charlie George and Sammy Nelson, our former players, have lost their roles at the club. They allegedly hosted a Legends tour at the Emirates Stadium, but obviously due to COVID and natural things, there's probably less demand, and you know, they're probably, you know, seeing wages, not really money coming in. Things need to change, so they've sadly lost their roles as well, people. Apparently there's low numbers taken in that. So while normal stadium tours will continue, the legend ones looks a shame. So I have commiserations for many people that have lost their jobs, and you know, I like to believe Arsenal have a plan. Whatever that plan is, I don't know, because of the number of outfield changes, and you'd imagine the on-field changes that are to follow as well. So we'll have to see what happens, man. But I'm gonna miss Pat Rice. You know, I can't argue with anything Willan has said as well. So we'll see what happens, people. I mean, you know, you was hoping that there'd be some more information on the Gabriel front. It seems like another saga that's going to continue. Obviously, the longer it goes on, the longer I'm asking, where's Aubameyang's deal? You know, every day there's another clue being played. We know the team is returning for pre-season from their holidays very shortly, so hopefully there's some news on the Aubameyang front. But for now, there's nothing for me to add or expand on. I'm going to get out of here. It's always a pleasure. Deluded, I'm out.